Sumo deadlifts are better than conventional deadlifts for glute training. At least, that's what a lot of people say, and I'm gonna disagree with it, and let's talk about why. If this bucket represents a pelvis essentially functions as a pulley, and the glutes attach at the top of the pulley, and they wrap around underneath of the bottom of the pulley onto the leg, where they actually function to pull the leg down. This mechanism gives the glutes a ton of leverage to be able to pull the hip back. When we assume a sumo stance, we take those fibers away from being able to use the pulley, and what we do is we deter them out to the side. This takes away a significant amount of leverage from the glute max and being able to actually extend. In addition, when we take the hip up in front of the body, the glutes stretch a ton. And when we move it out to the side, the glutes actually lose a lot of length. So being much wider is actually a weaker, shorter position where you get less stretch on the glutes as compared to the narrow stance. And lastly, with a conventional style deadlift or RDL, our hips translate a lot front to backward, and in a sumo deadlift, they actually don't. The distance to the hip in a sumo deadlift is much smaller as compared to the conventional deadlift. So for a lot less load, you can produce a lot more torque at the hip with a regular conventional style deadlift. In addition, because this stance in wide, what we don't see from this diagram is the fact that the feet are really pointed outward, and in addition to the fact that the distance is much smaller to the hip in the sumo deadlift as compared to the conventional deadlift, there's also a lot more quad involvement because the quads have to sort of push the floor away to get the weight up. And comparatively speaking, there's far more quad involvement in a sumo deadlift as compared to a conventional deadlift. So overall, you get more range, more stretch and shortening, more specificity of loading, and a much more productive motion with the conventional deadlift for glute max as compared to the sumo deadlift.